Okay, we're going to look at this next problem where I have to actually use my fractions to get a good answer. When we're looking at how tall people are, and we're looking at these two measures, that we're looking for this measure right here of this person, not as tall as the tallest person. But we know that all together this amount and this person will equal the 37 1/4. We are going to actually subtract this top part in order to find how much is on the bottom. Remember, anytime you're adding or subtracting fractions, you must have a common denominator. So we're going to take 37 1/4 and subtract 19 1/2. Common denominator. I'm looking for a number downstairs to be in common, and we're going to make that number 8. We can either do a shortcut of 2 times 4 is 8 and do it that way, or find our least common multiple. So if this is going to be 8, half of 8 is 4, and if I want to do a fourth of 8, it would be times 2 would be 2. Now remember, I am subtracting here, not something that I can do. I only have 2. Can I take away 4? That's not possible. I don't have enough. So I'm going to have to borrow. When I borrow from this 7, he now becomes a 6. This 1 whole that I borrowed, 1 whole as a fraction, is 8 out of 8 because I want to match my denominator. Now this is my total amount that I have now. I had 2, I borrowed 8, so I have a total of 10 eighths. 10, take away 4. Can I do that? Yes. And that would be 6 eighths. And then subtracting my whole numbers, 6 take away 9. See, I can't do that. I have to borrow. So I'm going to borrow from my 3. That gives me a 2. And the 1 whole I borrowed makes him a 16. 16 take away 9 is going to leave me with 7. And 2 take away 1 is my 1. So I'm looking at my answer going 17 6/8, but I don't see that answer down here. Something I have to consider is that this might need to be reduced. Always reduce your fractions for final answers. So if we reduce our fraction over here and divide by 2 on the top and divide by 2 on the bottom, I get 3 out of 4. So now I have 17, and my reduced fraction is 3 out of 4, and I can match that up to this. But I want to check my work. I always want to check my work. I can add back. I'm going to add back what I took away, the 19 1/2. But remember, we need that common denominator to do so. We're going to make it 8 again, because I already have that work up here, which is 6 eighths, and this is going to be 4 eighths. When we put this together, I end up with 10 eighths. When I'm adding here, I end up with 36. Now why isn't it coming out the same? Because this is improper. When I do top dog in the house and divide out, I end up with 1 and 2 eighths. So this 1 is added back to the 36 to make it 37 and 2 eighths. Why am I not still having a good answer that matched the original? Because this needs to be reduced, and I get 37 1/4 to go back and check my work with the original. Now let's look at this next problem here. Any problem that looks like this, and I include decimals, and I'm buying each one, I want you to consider, to get your answer, if you're adding, you're going to line up your buttons on the shirt. If you are multiplying, you have to look behind and solve. So when you look at this, you have to first decide if you're adding or if you're multiplying. Adding, you line up the buttons on a shirt. Multiplying, you have to look behind, and you're looking for the decimal point and how many places are sitting behind.